Hello, how are we doing? We're awesome because it's a Friday here in Brisbane, Australia. Hi, I'm Tanga, and this is Live 25 coming to you. Um, and I hope you are well in your side of the world. Hope all is going well for you. So we are looking forward to a nice long weekend. It's Australia Day. And because that falls on a Saturday, we get the Monday off. But lucky me doesn't work on Fridays in my normal part-time job. And Fridays I get to dedicate to the business, the online business and developing that. And so we get that extra day on Monday as well. So looking forward to going off to a weekend away with my family. So with my daughter and her partner and our granddaughters and my son and his partner as well. And we are just going to enjoy a weekend away on a beach. It's called the Sunshine Coast or Maroochydore in Queensland. So if you are looking for a place to holiday to, look it up, Maroochydore. Or the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. It's just a beautiful part of Queensland, and it's not as commercialised as the Gold Coast. So for many families, it's a nice little getaway as well. So there you go, a little tip from a local. So we are going to be leaving very early because, you know, the traffic on the way out up to the Sunshine Coast gets really heavy around this time because most locals do like to do the drive up there and just have a nice weekend away by the beach. So today, so as we're talking about self-care, the topic that I wanted to touch on today is this whole notion of self-care as well, and how we can stop beating up on ourselves when we make mistakes, when things don't go our way, or if we feel that we should have had more control or should have known better. Because I know if you're anything like me, you're probably the biggest, hardest critic on yourself. And we play these tapes back in our minds, don't we? I should have done this. I shouldn't have known this. And so it was really interesting because in our mastermind coaching that we've been doing, and I've just been watching some replays and videos this morning, really touching on essentially, you know, we're really impacting the inner child in ourselves, and a lot of our fears and a lot of the tapes are developed from when we're actually little children, and it's stored right back here in this little filing cabinet. And every now and then when things get triggered in us that take us back to what happened when we were little children, you know, a lot of fear and shame comes out from that, and hurt. And I wanted to use that. We had an example. I was speaking to a client a couple of days ago, similar age, she was about 55, and you know, she was pretty down on herself about where her finances were at, and you know, to the point where she was thinking about having to look at bankruptcy options. And so, hey Mary, how are you doing? Happy Friday to you. So anyway, this particular client, you know, we were delving a little bit as to what the situation was. And she talked about how she'd been a single mum all of the years of raising her daughter. Father wasn't around at all and didn't really want to participate in the raising of a daughter. So mum had pretty much single-handedly raised this child and also worked full-time. And I know that there are a lot of us, a lot of mums out there that will know this type of feeling as well, the abandonment. Yes, yes. Hi, Mary. Yeah, happy Friday. So what had happened recently is daughter was getting married, and so mum wanted to make sure that the wedding was really good, and so she took out a loan to help pay for these expenses. Since then, the son-in-law's also had some issues, and so they've had to move in with her. So, mum's been really hard on. She's, this has been really tough. I'm trying to make this happen. And she's really down on herself, blaming herself that she wasn't on top of her finances more. And she couldn't understand why she let it happen this way. And so we really needed to remind her of what she had achieved as a single mum, working full time and single handedly raising a daughter with love and being there and sacrificing all of her own things just to be able to provide for her daughter and provide a lifestyle that she felt was really important. So I asked Mum this question because she couldn't get past this whole thing. As much as I tried to point out the things that she had achieved, she couldn't really get past the self-blame. And so I said to her, what if you were sitting in my seat and your daughter was speaking to you, and your daughter had gone through a similar situation, was really down on herself, blaming herself for everything going on? What would you say to her? And that's what she did. It was silence. And then all I could hear was tears in the background. And, I said, we tend to do this. We will support the people that we love more than what we do for ourselves. Of course you would be saying to her, Barb, you've done the best that you can. You've made the best decisions that you can. You cannot blame yourself for what's happened. Look what you've done. Look what you've done to sacrifice your life so that you could give more to your daughter. And she said, but that's different. And I said to her, no, it's not. How different really is that? And yet we are so hard on ourselves. And she sat with that for a little while because, when we're used to bringing ourselves down and being so hard on ourselves, yeah, it's tough, isn't it, Mary? And I think the thing is, how empowering is it when you can just flip this little switch because it's your mind, it's our mind. So the empowering thing is, it really is simple. It is really about just stepping into, maybe looking at the inner child that's there in front of you and placing your arms around and just showering them with love. Because at the end of the day, we're just trying to do the best that we can, and we're going to fall over. Things are not going to be perfect. There are going to be mistakes made. That's called life. But we seem to accept it more in our children than what we do as adults. And we forget that us as adults, it's really our inner child that was really like a 5-year-old. I remember as a 5-year-old, I'm a middle child, so yeah, black sheep, constantly looking for the hugs and the loves from mum and dad. And my older sister was dad's favourite. My little sister was my mum's favourite. So I was the one that's creating havoc, trying to get attention. And I think I was still doing that as an adult as well. But a lot of our decisions and our fears really relate back to us and our inner child. So my tip here is this, and this is what I share with a lot of my clients. If you feel what's coming up inside you is a low frequency in terms of blame and shame and, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I, and guilt, all of those things, take a step back and see yourself through the eyes of you as a 5-year-old and give yourself a big hug and say, it's going to be okay because I can tell you it is always going to be okay, whatever you decide. Struggles, on the other side of a struggle is often breakthroughs, but trying to ride it through there is probably the toughest time. So all we can do that is with a lot of love. All right, who have I got here? Hey, Karina, how are you? Awesome. Yes, Mary. Yeah, middle child syndrome. But see, now what's coming up for me is I've used that as an excuse for some of my not so good behaviours, I think. So I might have to dig a little bit deeper on that as well. Um, but look, that's me for today. It's actually an early one for me too. It's just after 8 o'clock at night here in Brisbane, Australia. And I'm pretty sure I think it's just people on the other side of the world are just starting to get up as well. So if you're watching this and tuning in, as I know you will be, hashtag replay and drop a line as to where you're popping in from. But that's me for now. Have you guys got anything to add at all that you wanted to? Oh my gosh, my hair is so orange. I've just had, look at that. I've just had my hair done. I've just come from the hairdressers, and so had to get rid of all the grey because I know you all thought that I was natural, hey, but sorry to say, the grey's the natural. So yeah, we're looking forward to our little long weekend. All right. Hey, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Have an amazing long weekend, my ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. And tomorrow, I think I'll be doing this from Richardor and hopefully a beach if it's not too bright. All right. Take care. Have a good night. Love yous. Mwah.